I got one that says, "Can't get my parents to understand. I'm a 29-year-old female. I hid my diagnosis from my parents for as long as possible because of previous medical trauma. I couldn't hide it forever because one, it's obviously it's obviously it's obvious that I don't drive. Two, I had to visit them at some point. And three, I found a new epileptologist close to where they live. Number three, wasn't really a choice. I live somewhere pretty rural, and the last neurologist told me to find someone new. So I find someone new. So the best I could do was find someone close to my parents so I have somewhere to crash. Have someone to watch my kid while I get the medical things done, and have someone to drive me around. But they just don't understand anything about epilepsy. I've tried explaining things, they just don't get it. They think it's mental illness. I can't for the life of me convince them otherwise. They think I have more control over it than I do. I just had an EEG done today, and they're annoyed that I don't have the result yet, and that they think it's going to come back clean like it always does. They keep saying that's a good thing, and that no news is good news. No, it's not. I have a diagnosis. They're going to keep digging until they find something. A clean EEG means 7 days at least in November. I'm not a fan. I'm not a kid. Well, I'm not a kid. I'm married. I have a child. I live far away from them. Unfortunately, this is the best option I have, so I have to figure out how to talk to them. Maybe time will help. Does anyone think time will help if I just leave and not talk to them? No, I don't think time will help. I think you got to have those conversations. Sometimes you got
Yeah,
to force those conversations. Uh,
you gotta face it.
I mean, at least this person knows that how difficult it's going to be. Some parents don't want to face the fact, they don't want to hear the hard truth. So you do have to phrase it in a certain way that convinces them that it is an illness. It's not something like their child brought on themselves. It's in no way blaming the parents for, you're not saying this is a genetic thing or this is their fault. That's the only time I've seen it be like hard for parents to accept, or but however they would not want to support, you can crash here. So if you have to do like an overnight thing at the doctor that's close by, that's really unfortunate. That's hard to believe. But no, I agree. I don't think time is going to help. It'll at least depend on what the last thing you say to them is. If you're talking long time, as in like not until the holidays, just giving them a break for the summer and letting them put it all together. But yeah, and more education and just awareness. It's another one of those situations.
Maybe even have a doctor bring them to a doctor's. I don't know. Um, if that's what it would come to, have a doctor explain it. Bring it, yeah, your parents to a doctor appointment. Have have that doctor thoroughly explain what's going on. I don't see much. I don't know how far they're going to budge, but
Yeah, because some people who tend to just see anything neurological, they confuse neurological and psychological, but
right.
basically, there's a large population out there who, if you can't see the illness, then it must be in your head. You must be, just crazy, and then unfortunately, that definitely translates to. It sounds like this situation, thinking it's all in his head.
Yeah, I can't say nothing for this. My parents witnessed my seizure, so my dad's been with me until the day he died and went to my appointments. He understood, and it's like Kevin said, awareness. let them know everything. You know, you need that
Yeah.
support system.
And yeah,
I mean,
my
that's
parents as well.
notice
Yeah, yeah.
in these
I mean, they have to maybe hear it for themselves. My parents were also with me all the time, and it's a great thing to have. You got to have that support system, and yeah,
and some of these older men make it sound like it makes them feel like less of a man not to be able to be that protector or that, be able to provide or something. But that's definitely a reality you got to face in the earlier on and more discussions you have with the people that you're going to need, then the better chance you have of them understanding what you're going to need and why.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with me is like I hate um, that epilepsy. Just like I can deal with the take my independence because I got used to that, but it takes away from time that I can spend with my kids because I can't do it with them alone. So when times that I have them where they're around, I gotta be on guard. I gotta have someone there babysitting us, not just me, um, or not just them. But yeah, that's the only thing. Does take your independence, and then when you're a parent taking independence, I can't drive. It's a lot. That's the only part that really gets to me is it affects them, and sometimes I do put myself in harm's way. I'd be like, "We're gonna go to the movies regardless," because I don't like that you guys just have to sit around. So let's get out. Let's down the street. Let's go to the movies. And yeah, I haven't had a seizure so far with them alone outside the house. But yeah.
Yeah, don't be scared to live a little bit, but
Yeah, that's really a big thing is like just gotta they understand it, so it's good that they understand, but like I said, me just not being able to do things with them, the only part that gets to me. Think about it sometimes I overly think it, but yeah, that's the only part I rethink, like damn, like this is affecting them a lot now. Well, it was affecting me before they came around, so
yeah.
anyhow.
Now that's got me
Some-
thinking of a funny story. I think I wrote it down. Daughter started a conversation saying, "Once I get on track for graduation, will you promise to get me a Monster and sushi?" I replied with this like eloquent rant about, do you think that that's how the real world works? Like when you accomplish your responsibilities that you have, that you automatically just get like shelter, nourishment, and love is like base pay. And she came back with saying, "Hey, did you take your meds yet today?" And that was her way of like reminding me that she's always around to like save my life, basically. And that got me just wanting to start an Instacart order for her. So I mean, having children growing up with the epilepsy definitely like makes her mature a lot faster, and I feel guilty for that sometimes.
I feel you there. It's like they have to have their independence because
Yeah.
I can't fully provide to help them. They are independent. So yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so I don't think she's using it against me. I think she really does just want Monster and sushi. But
Mm.
but yeah, well, that's another one to think about too when you're a parent. That it's nothing that we're gonna be able to hide.
Yeah.
I still feel weak, but or see it as a weakness, but yeah,
The hidden disability, like they can't tell you have it, even when you have a seizure. They're just like, you had a seizure. It's all right.
yeah,
You'll be okay. You can
pretty
see.
much.
It's never okay right afterwards, but I digress. I move on. Next rant. You don't want to be. You don't want to be where the only reason you're allowed to stay is compassion. Understandable. She asks, "Why are you doing it now? Why are you asking for sick leave today, of all days?" You have to think about it for a minute. In the end, you say, "I think it's because I want to put people at ease. It's because you want to seem like a reasonable person. So as to avoid others feeling like they should impose their own limits on you, since clearly you don't know yours. It's because you don't want to be sidetracked by a doctor who doesn't know you, like you effectively, like you effectively were once, all those years ago. If you ever need to take a different tack in life, it will be a tack of choosing yours and yours alone. They will one day have to learn to live with the fact that this is your condition and always will be, unpredictable by nature. She is your GP and she knows your file as if she were there when you took your first breath. This is someone telling her something, I'm taking it as, or someone telling her. She is your GP and she knows your file as if she were there when you took your first breath. Even though it's at least a decade, it's she's at least a decade too young for that. She hasn't seen you in almost 2 years, but she knows everything. Everything, and she knows too little, but still says she know everything. Your life is unpredictable, especially with these doctors. As do you. You've been living this way for so long that you don't really remember whether it was ever different. Years and years, sometimes, of nothing at all, and then suddenly 5 days in a row of waking up with your nose wedged in between two cobblestones, with holes in your memory, with bruises that are suddenly just there, leaving you clueless as to how they happened, with soggy pants after you peed yourself and broken bones. If you're in luck, with bystanders and friends and colleagues who make you smaller or larger than you actually are, so as they won't have to see themselves in you. Okay. Because they are scared. Oh no, because they are scarred. They're scarred maybe that one day. So maybe because they're scarred. They're scared maybe that one day you'll be living somewhere bleeding after a particularly bad fall and with nobody around to help and they won't find you. They're scared that one day you'll be dead and they know, they won't know. Perhaps above all, they are scared of losing control. If everyone started disappearing like you do sometimes, conveniently they forgot that no one likes to live in the snow for half an hour. No one likes to lie in the snow for half an hour having no memory of how they got there, just for shits and giggles. They forget there's no fun in being wedged between a door and a wall after a seizure on the toilet. They forget that no one chooses to fall into the lake when it's freezing outside, only to need help in the shower afterwards because the limbs don't work. Nobody does that for the hell of it, not on purpose anyway. But you understand their fears, so make yourself smaller for them. You do what they think they would do. Do what you think they would do. That sucks for someone to give you that advice. Just do what they're telling you. A lot of that was basically in quotes. She was being told this. Um, yeah, that sucks.
I mean, after all these groups, when it's the idea has just been reinforced over and over that you have to be your own advocate. If you're going a long time controlled, but then having, what did it say, like 5 days of a lot of bad ones, that's definitely not your fault. That's something that, like, obviously if you haven't made any extreme lifestyle changes, that that sucks. That's definitely something that needs treatment or needs like some professional to take seriously, not just blow it off as like, yeah, this happens sometimes and good luck next year. 'Cause
Right.
I've heard that before.
I was gonna say, I've heard that one. Good luck next time. Like it's just supposed to be over with. Someone says, advice for a Kepler user in academia. I'm a doctoral candidate writing a dissertation, and Keppra is really messing with my cognitive abilities. I need to always be on top of my game, but I'm mentally a sloth on Keppra. My neurologist thinks that this is best option for me, as anything else would be much worse for my condition. I'm looking for advice from others in academia who are taking Keppra or have shifted from some other medication. Is there any advice for Keppra? I feel like, well, no, I'm not on Keppra, so. But yeah, the memory thing is what is hard for academia for me because it's hard to retain info. So I can learn something, but it's hard to remember it when I need it. So
Right. Like I've mentioned here that I'm studying things, and I just can't seem to retain. Yeah, like you said, retain it. And I'm taking Topamax. It's also, a lot of people call it Dopamax because I have many of those similar symptoms where you just cannot seem to, remember things. You study it a million times, but but the only thing I can say is practice, practice, practice. A million. We have to work a little harder than other people.
Especially in
Yeah.
writing a
That's
dissertation.
it.
Imagine how many times you're going to have to keep that, like, not rubric, but like the outline, right in front of you to remember what's the next paragraph supposed to be about. What is this point? Like, reread the transitions over and over and over to make sure that makes sense. And yeah, that's writing a paper with, when you're feeling that like spaced out kind of forgetfulness, is definitely really hard because it takes a lot longer. But all right, guys, have a start to bedtime routine with the family. Nice seeing you. Talk to you Tuesday.
all right. Have a
Later.
good day.
All right. Bye, Kate.
Bye bye.
See you.
All right, we're gonna start again. Depakote side effects, anyone? My 8-year-old son has absent seizures and partial complex seizures. He also has ADHD since starting Depakote back in January. His behavior is a bit chaotic. The ADHD is worse. He's becoming increasingly more irritable, terrible mood swings all over the place, emotions, and issues sleeping. He has also gained 10 pounds since January. He's pretty tall, 4'7". I'm so concerned with all this. I have messaged his neurologist to see if we can wean him off of it and just use his rescue medication for seizures. Has anyone ever experienced Depakote? And what do I do?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm all right. Okay, I take debit code. So, I don't know if this is like a middle age thing or something, but I have experienced a lot of uh, weight gain over the past couple of years, and a lot of uh, a lot of the side effects of Depakote. But but on the other hand, uh, I've been 6 years seizure free. Um, I can't. I don't know what to say for your child, but or the weight gain. I can't help with that. That's just something that happens. Uh, but your medical or medicine choice is just something that's just going to have to be your choice. If you're just going to have to, you know, whatever. Um, yeah.
Go ahead, Angel.
When I took Depakote, um, it was so long ago, but it actually led to my 3-year seizure free, and it was like the most freedom I had as a having epilepsy. I don't No, I like each medicine has its own side effects. So that's something like you gotta keep on top of. If it's really, really bad, then yeah, you have to communicate with the doctor. As far as just taking a rescue medicine, I don't know because then it's like my mind goes to it's like he's going to become, or she, I don't know, the child will become tolerant to the rescue medicine, which is supposed to stop it, you know? Like,
It's a very possibility. Yeah.
and there, like, as far as I know, most, well, it depends on which rescue medicine it is because, like, the ones I've seen are mainly benzodiazepines. They're not the ones you want to keep taking. You don't want to stick on them.
I mean, you have options. I mean, you don't have to
Yeah,
just take Depakote. I mean, you
yeah,
can try other things. I think.
yeah. There is. I was supposed to get on Depakote a second time, and I couldn't because of my liver. But it, there are other options. There's other medicines. It's just you got to manage the side effects,
Mm.
and each epilepsy medicine that I know, pretty much the majority have the same majority side effects of like drowsiness and other stuff. Like, and I think memory should be a big one now.
Yeah, that's that's
It's,
that's that's a tough one. Yeah.
you know,
I got one that says, I'm going through the comments now. Someone said double coat made me eat and eat. I gained weight fast and kept gaining it until I was put on something else. Someone said, I'm so sorry your son is going through that. Yes, Depakote has three main side effects that I had the whole time I was on it. One, irritability and erratic mood swings. Two, weight gain. And three, stomach pain. The weight gain seems to be constant as long as you're on it. I gained a lot of weight when I was on it. Someone else said Depakote made me think terrible things. I begged for Keppra back, but switched from Keppra to lacosamide. Someone else said Departed made me a zombie. Which they probably um, the auto correct thing instead of Depakote, it said Departed. Someone said I used it a long time ago, around 13 to 14 years ago, so I remember the most impacting side effects. But I might remember something impressively. I changed from carbazepine to Depakote, and then oxycarbazepine. I switched to circadian cycle, awake during the day, sleep at night. At first, I thought it was bad sleeping habit, but I couldn't fix it. I got slow, like my body and mind were moving through honey instead of air. It affected me during study, going place to place, and socializing. Worsened my depression. Mm. That sucks when they get depression from the pills that are antidepressants, right?
yeah.
One second, you guys. I gotta go grab something.
Okay.
You're gonna leave?
No, I was just going to comment on the debit code. I might leave a little later, but I I'm not sure. This is the weird thing. I'm not sure if it's the debit code or just that my life sucks right now. You know, but um, I don't think debit code's making my life, or I don't think it's making me more depressed. I think it's more of a mood stabilizer. But I think right now it's just my life situation. Uh, but yeah, that's my take on debit code.
Okay, I will be right back.
Angel, your take on debit code and depression?
Um, I have, like I said, I can't remember from a long time ago, but because, like I said, when I first got on Depakote, I think that was my first time ever going seizure free for 3 years. But I've been on other medicines that have caused depression. And when the depression gets really serious, especially as an adult, um, it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's like treading water, or it's like you're in quicksand. I'm definitely not the most cheery of guys right now, and I go a long time just not being able to get off the couch, and I'm not sure, and I'm not sure, like I can't tell objectively if that's the medicine or if that's just me. That's that's the hard part. If
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that
And I think I gotten to the point once where I just told the neurologist, like, look, I'm definitely depressed.
feel
And that,
depressed.
yeah, and that's when they put me on Lexapro. It's like,
I
and,
mean,
but
people have told me I'm depressed. The people at the hospital have told me I'm depressed. I've taken online tests that have told me I'm depressed. But I really honestly think that if I got out of this situation, my current, I think if I got, you know,
yeah,
if I get, yeah, I think if I got a good job, I think if I got a good girlfriend, I wouldn't be depressed. I think it's just this current life situation,
the
I think,
situation,
yeah,
the
I,
situation,
yeah, I think it's the situation, not so much the drugs.
Right.
it just, the drugs will probably influence that mind thinking.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think it doesn't help.
Right.
Yeah.
It definitely helps you overthink things sometimes.
Yeah.
So I got something that says non-benzo options. We're on the last quarter of my 12-year-old son cobasm taper. We've added Vimpat and he's been on Depakote for TLE. I pushed the epileptologist to take him off the bento because it made him very depressed and aggressive. Now his mood is lovely. He's back to his old self, but he's had 2 TCs this week, and I had to use the rescue medication. What non-benzo medication have you used with success, keeping mood, emotional sensitivity in mind? I want to know what options to advocate. I didn't know
I
what benzos were for a long time, so um,
Well, I'm on a benzo right now, so
yeah, me too.
yeah.
I have to see, is Dilatin a benzo? Dilatin? Because
I don't think so.
I think they use some places use that for rescue medication now.
what? Dilantin? I took Dilantin when I first started. It wasn't rescuing me.
Yeah, me too. And now I think it's like when I first started, it was Dilatin, and now like people first start, it's Keppra.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're like telling people Keppra is the gold standard these days. That's where everybody starts at. That was my
Yeah.
second, and I don't really remember too much of it, but yeah, it was my late teens to early 20s. So yeah,
Okay, I'm looking on Google. Um, so
anything?
it's Dilatin is the generic phenytonin, which is used to prevent seizures. You treat and prevent seizures, and um, it slows down the nerve impulses in the brain. Um, I know I read somewhere where it says it's mainly used as what you call it, a lot of like it's used more for rescue now.
Ah, I think someone said it's a very old drug, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I don't think it's a benzo.
Me and Pookie can tell you when we first started epilepsy, they started with us with Dilatin.
Yeah, I started with Dilantin in my mid-teens.
Yeah, I was 14 and they started me with Dilatin. I think I went up to 800 milligrams.
Yeah, I went from I forgot how many milligrams. But yeah,
Uh,
it wasn't successful. Was on it for almost a lot of years.
Yeah, that was one of the drugs I'm pretty sure I was on it, but um it was one of the drugs I was on, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the starter drugs that people took. Um, I remember being in an office and they were just handing out packets of something, and yeah, that was really weird. I don't remember what it was, but they were handing out like samplets of packets, and it was just bizarre. And, but
I never got that.
yeah, but when I first was diagnosed, that's what they did with me. Is it, yeah,
Yeah, the I like because basically, like I said, I was 14. This um, I was 14, and my first seizure or probable seizure was just walking to school. I was on my way to school, Next thing I know, I'm waking up in the ER. Few months later, this is the ones my parents witnessed, and I went into Grand Mal, and like a few weeks later, another Grand Mal, and um, I think the doctor, the neurologist that I saw back then, because I went to a children's hospital. Um, he kept me on Dilatin because that's what the emergency room put me on, and then he switched me to Tegatrol XR, and I think that increased. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think he went up to like 1,300 milligrams, and then he had to add like Lamictal with it at one point because I was getting breakthrough.
I hate breakthrough seizures. Like, absolutely hate them. It's like I've been doing good for so long. It just
Yeah,
comes to you like you forgot about me. Like,
yeah.
oh,
It's like
You were
no,
over at CHOP. You were at Children's Hospital.
no, St. Chris.
Oh, okay. All right.
I went to
Yeah,
Stanford. So,
Mm.
pretty good
and
hospital.
yeah, I my first neurologist was St. Christopher's.
Okay.
Um, Currently I'm with Jefferson Health, so
Yeah.
they
I'm up
do
at
good.
Jefferson. I'm at University of Penn. And,
I have something here that says keeping on weight. Anyone having problems keeping on weight? I've never had issues maintaining my weight until around the time I was diagnosed at 35. At that time in my life, where I'm supposed to be putting on weight, the opposite happens. I'm healthy, blood work is fine, getting plenty of exercise. I just don't get hungry. All the doctors say I'm good, but I have to make myself eat. If I don't set an alarm, I don't eat. I just don't think about it. Imagine a
uh,
150-pound man standing 6'2". I look like I had anorexia or something. I know it's a healthy BMI, but that's just not true.
uh,
Um,
when I was younger, yeah, I was a skinny little kid. I could, oh man, I was, yeah, but yeah, but I was skinny up until like 30 something, but then, opposite, yeah. But I I I I could eat anything I wanted up until about 30 something. So yeah.
Yeah, the same thing. It's like I could eat, eat, and eat, and my metabolism would just burn it right all up.
Mm-mm.
Same here. It's like I've been out of town for some time now, for maybe a couple weeks. I was out of town, and I got back, and I haven't really been eating. But where I was at, my family was making food. I've been here, and I haven't ate yet. I was here yesterday, and I've had two drumstick ice cream so far. I haven't
Yeah.
really had the appetite, and to be honest, Angel was like, "You need to eat before we start." So
Yeah,
yeah, one says, "I'm so lonely. This is the loneliest thing I've ever dealt with. I've almost had no contact with anyone. Don't work anymore, so I don't even like customers. I'm still in the beginning stages of all this, and I just hate it so much." anything you guys do to stop loneliness. I mean, yeah, to stop loneliness. Um,
Yeah, that's tough. That's one of the
It,
toughest things about this.
that's one of the toughest
it,
things. Outside of the
yeah,
seizures, it's the company you keep, either relationships or what. Like you're gonna feel lonely. Everybody's gonna get those moments where they're
Yeah.
alone. They're like, "Damn, how long I've been alone? Who's yeah,
I I go out and then do social things, but it's keeping the relationships. I can't, you know, yeah, I can't, you know, make a relationship. That's the hardest thing. Yeah, I go to social events, but yeah, I can't make friends. That's the most difficult thing.
I've had my friends and family for years that been my support system. Like they know all about my seizures and know everything. And when we do social stuff, that's who I'm going with. When I was working, that's where I met my wife. Uh, and we, we hit it off, obviously, if she became my wife. And there's still like, for me, there was still a lonely feeling that it was just like, yeah, you guys love me and you're great, but there's like when it comes to the seizure part, that's where I feel alone, you know?
Yeah,
Like I'm the only one that goes through it.
I I know that's always going to be, my burden. But um, I just I got to keep out there. I'm just going to say that to anyone. You just you know got to try something. I don't know. People always tell me online stuff, but I hate that. I hate Tinder or anything. Ugh, that's gross. Tinder's gross. I don't know. Maybe some kind of online event for adults, but I don't know. I just gotta keep going out there and meeting people. I go out and talk to people. That's what I do.
Hey,
Maybe,
this Reddit group is good at getting rid of loneliness.
yeah,
And
it's something.
yeah. It's like I had to start first. I had to start home. I used to like just sit in my room more often, and then I started like, let me just go out when we're having company and what's it call it, like talk to people and like associate with people while I have time or whatever. Um, and then I just went from let me go outside more and let me find things to do. Let me find people who are actually doing things because sitting in the house can leave you in a fog too and leave you in a depression of its own.
Yeah,
A lonely depression phase can be dramatic. Lonely and depression,
yeah,
big.
and I was like, I'm met, technically I'm still married, even though we're going through the process of separation divorce. Um, it's like I faced those depressions even with her, you know? Like sometimes it's, you know, what's making you, I don't know how to say it. Like what are you, it's, you know, the drug enhances that feeling in your mind.
Right, it does.
What are you lonely for?
All right. I didn't have much other than what we went through today. You guys want to end it here?
Yeah, I'm good.
I can call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can go get dinner.
Same
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well,
It's 10 o'clock for you. You're gonna get dinner at 10 o'clock now. I feel you.
watching
Yeah,
the game anyway. Yeah.
I need to
All
go
right.
find dinner.
I
Maybe
think we
play
got a
some
lot
video
done.
games.
Yeah.
Right,
All
y'all.
right.
all
Well, all
right.
right,
Peace.
everyone.
Huh?
Stay
Enjoy the
safe,
night.
everyone.
All right. You guys
Take
have
it easy.
enjoy your day and all that stuff.